Hello and welcome back to my channel Fly High with Priya. In this video, I'll be discussing a novel that is To The Lighthouse, which is written by Virginia Woolf. It is a very different kind of a novel in which a different kind of technique, new technique has been used, that is a stream of consciousness technique. And in this novel, there are very less actions, very less dialogues, very less events. Only the things are happening in the consciousness of the characters, and it is not a simple one narrator who is narrating the story. Different shifts are there at different stances. Different narrators are speaking, not speaking, they're in their mind, something is going on, and through their mental, you can say, it is written, mental narrative is there. Now the novel is divided into three parts, means three sections. First of all is the windows, second time passes, and third is the lighthouse. Now let's begin with the novel. When the novel opens, in the first section, it is described that Mr. and Mrs. Ramsay, the two people are there, and with them there are the eight children, and they have come to a summer house on the Isle of Skye. And it is an island near Scotland. They are there and to spend their vacations, to enjoy, and with them there are many different friends or acquaintances are there. And when the novel opens, what happens, James, the youngest son, he is sad, and he is saying, means as he's a very small kid, so he's saying that I want to go to that place, that lighthouse, I want to see that lighthouse, please kab chaloge na. He's just asking ki I just want to go and see, I just want to go and see. So his mother is saying ki okay, we'll go tomorrow, we'll if the weather improves, we'll surely go there. But what happens, this conversation is cut by Mr. Ramsay, and he coldly and bluntly says that tomorrow the weather will not be going, won't be improving, and we won't be going there. So at this James is very sad. He's very angry with his father's cold nature and cold behavior, and he just thinks that if he had a knife, he would have stabbed his father. Means the kind of hatred is shown here, and he thinks that this kind of behavior of his father is for all the siblings, and he's very bad person. But Mrs. Ramsay somehow consoles this James, and he sleeps finally. Now there are another characters, that is Lily Briscoe. Lily Briscoe is a young girl, and Mrs. Ramsay wants that she should marry William Banks. William Banks is a good friend, very good friend of Mr. Ramsay, and they both will look good together, and that's why they should marry. But as this William Banks asks for marriage, she completely refuses, that she wants to stay single. Now what happens, meantime there are two persons, Minta Doyle and some other person, and these two characters, they propose each other, and they are going to marry soon. And in the meantime, what happens, a dinner has been arranged, and all these characters, all these different friends have been invited for the dinner. But this dinner comes out to be a failure. Means what happens, that Minta Doyle and his partner comes late, and there is one Charles Stanley, who's a friend, who is a philosopher, philosopher friend of this Mr. Ramsay, who works as a student under Mr. Ramsay. He is also there in the dinner party, and he bluntly states that women cannot write, they can never paint, and they can neither paint nor write. Women don't have that caliber. This was a very blunt statement for Lily Briscoe, because she was planning to start doing painting. So she was very angry about that statement. So you can say sore thing has happened. And another thing happens, that when Augustus Carmichael asks for another second time for the soup, so Mr. Ramsay becomes very angry, and he shouts at him, and that's why this incident just spoiled the whole dinner party. But at last everything was normal. There was partying, means dancing, singing is there, and Mrs. Ramsay leaves that place after some time, which shows that that particular event is the event of some past. Now what happens there, this Mr. Ramsay and Mrs. Ramsay, they are sitting together at night. They are sitting, and Mr. Ramsay is not feeling good. He's feeling very low. So he wants that Mrs. Ramsay should come and console him. She should say that he's a good philosopher, he will be able to write the book, and he will do good in his life. So she should say this thing, I love you, and means she should console him. And this is what Mrs. Ramsay does, and he feels better. his morale is boosted by Mrs. Ramsay's sayings. As she was a wife, that's what she was supposed to do, and that's why she does all these things. Now coming on to, now this was the first section, the windows. It's over. Now coming on to the second part, that was time passes. Now this is there is a lapse, you can say, of 10 years. 10 years lapses there, and in the meantime, what happens that Mrs. Ramsay is dead. She was dead. She was found dead one night. And the oldest son, Andrew, he's also dead because of the war. In the war, he died, and the World War is over. Now what happens, the first section was before World War was about to start. Second section has started when the World War I is over. Prue, the oldest, this daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ramsay, she's also dead. She died because of some complications in during the childbirth. So there are 3 deaths in the span of the 10 years. And this house, this summer house in the Isle of Skye, was left desolate. Means there was no one who was visiting this place. It was left to oblivion, and there was no one to repair or care to take care of this house. Finally, what happens that it is heard that they are coming. They are, means Mr. Ramsay and the family friends are coming. So Mrs. McNabb, she was the caretaker basically. So she just goes and repairs that summer house. She just cleans it, or whatever was broken, she repairs it. So this is there in second part. Now it is a very small part. And now third part, the lighthouse is there. In it, what happens that Mr. Ramsay and 2 kids, that is James and Cam, they are there in the house. Lily Briscoe is also there. Mr. Ramsay is again is not feeling well. He's not feeling motivated, and he wants that Lily Briscoe should means take care of him, should encourage him, should speak the words the way Mrs. Ramsay used to speak. But she does not speak like that. She just totally ignores whatever this Mr. Ramsay wants. Now he was thinking that they'll be visiting Lighthouse, as James wants to visit that place, but it was not possible that time, so they'll be visiting this time. But James and Cam are against it. They don't want to, means as now they are grown up now, so they are not that interested to visit a lighthouse, and especially they just don't want to go with their father. This was the main reason. But somehow, as he was a father and they were the kids, so they just start their journey. In the meantime, what happens, Lily Briscoe also decides that she'll complete the portrait which she has started in first section. She has started the portrait of Mrs. Ramsay, and she'll be completing it in this part of the novel. So she starts painting, and they just take a boat and starts going to that lighthouse. In the meantime, what happens that as they were moving in the boat, the way James was rowing this boat, Mr. Ramsay was very happy. He praises him, and they were talking. So you can say the snow, you can say the ice between them breaks, and finally a cordial relationship can be seen between Cam, James, and his father. Their relationship improves during that journey, and finally it is shown that they have reached the lighthouse. And and this Lily Briscoe, on the other hand, has just marked last stroke from the brush, means her portrait is also complete. So this was all about To the Lighthouse, a very different kind of novel by Virginia Woolf. I hope this is very much clear to you. Thank you for listening. Stay connected. Till then, bye bye.